I'm not sure if I'm even live. Let's get it done. All right. Uh, Pardon me because, well, as you already know, I'm pretty bad at this. But let's see what we can do here. Uh, Trying out this live streaming capability is quite important milestone for us because I can do a lot more. One of my commitments to you, especially as we start the new year 2026 in a month's time, is to obviously commit to your success, not just um, once or twice, but enduringly for the rest of your life. So I will certainly be using this technology or this improvement in the way of imparting knowledge, wisdom, or even training you to get to the next level, and that's obviously what I endeavor to do. So give me time. This is the first. I think with practice, I will get better at this. Um, yeah, and apart from education, training, it's a nice tool that I hope to also use to run through meetings, especially with lifetime members, because we do have many projects together ahead, and this seems like a good platform for me to meet up with you, to update you, and to, uh, well, work towards something collectively. So that's obviously also one of my plans. So let's see how this goes, because I believe that this has its benefits, and it's worth my sacrifice to get out of my comfort zone. Well, so make no mistake, this is way out of my comfort zone. Uh, but there is a certain threshold that I may need to overcome if I were to do this on a trading day, because some of you know I I trade with uh, heavy metal music when the charts are going right. It's my way to focus, as I've been doing this for years. Uh, yeah, for you people who were with me at the in the early days, you know exactly my problem with that. Uh, yep. Okay, so today, obviously, I'm just trying to test out the capabilities, and I want to run through Friday. Right, I have a secret training video already published. It's in line with the schedule, so I will be just publishing that after this video. It will cover from Monday to Thursday, but for this particular Friday, I want to run through that in this form. It also gives me um, some time to test this, because I realize that my cursor is a little lagging. Well, it must be because of the screen capturing or something like that. So it gives me some idea what I'm dealing with, so I can learn to put in more improvements. And please pardon me, because while I'm really good at multitasking while trading, I have such limited bandwidth. When I'm looking at the charts here and looking at chat, so you know that I am a professional trader. I am not a live streamer. This is just way out of my comfort zone. So I do sincerely apologize if I I do not respond to you. I don't even know if I can check back the chat later to read. I don't even know that. So thank you for your tolerance, I guess. Thank you for that. Um, And as I said, this live stream is meant for me to test this capability because I wish to do more for you for the next year. I want to extend the capabilities for more than education, but also conducting meetings with you, lifetime members, for our projects that I have mentioned to you when you signed up for it. Very exciting because we do have quite big updates. I endeavor to do this once a week. Once a week, yeah. That's what I hope to do, hopefully on a Sunday. And if this works well, I also wish to use this as a platform to, to pray for you. But on a separate channel, I have another channel, the Trading Fellowship channel. I don't publicize it. It's got nothing there for now, but hopes and dreams and prayers. But I do wish to spend more time to communicate with you, to talk to you, to listen to you, to pray for you. I always believe that is the bedrock of all success. And well, yeah. So I hope this can open up that channel to do that more fluently and more efficiently. So, yeah, let's see how it goes. Because, I do analysis live here on the Discord channel. And, this gives me a way for you to refer back according to timestamp, right? If I were to do a live analysis on video, it may not be that efficient for you to refer back and study. So I'm trying to combine using something that can timestamp on to the second, together with the live video analysis. I'm trying to see how I can use AI to put them together into an application, for example. So that's something that I can't put a finger to it yet. There is a plan, there is an idea, but I can't put a finger to it yet. So that may come with time, and hopefully if I familiarize myself with this for a start, we may even eventually get there. So let's see how it goes. So thank you for gracing me with your time on a Sunday. I am very privileged. I thank you. I truly do. It's I am full of gratitude. You don't know how it feels when the work of your hands benefits people. So it means something to me. So thank you for taking the time off. Please know this is like way out of my comfort zone. I'm trying my best. Really forgive me for any inefficiencies here. Right. So God bless all of us. God bless me especially. Let's start doing some analysis right here. Right. Just for information, I've already uploaded the video for the preparation for next week. I expect some movements on 6 p.m. later. I do expect some movements later. There are some news that landed, but we'll see how it goes. Now let's take a look at on Friday. Now, most importantly, on Friday, what you have to first understand is the macro structure in the 30-minute chart. It's very important you understand, firstly, what to be expecting in the macro structure. So this was on Friday here. We started Friday here, and this was after a very strong Thursday in that green selling rhythm, right? So naturally speaking, Let's see. It's a little lagging because of the screen capture. So do pardon me, it's not as fluid as I would expect it to be. Right, so we started out in that green selling, and we had quite a strong bounce out of that green selling algorithm here. So that's a big clue for you, right? Because once we are out of that green selling algorithm, and if you were to see stronger, really much stronger selling, this will commence, right? It will continue selling very strongly in the green. But alas, you see that we have broken out of that green by as early as 11 on Friday. And if you see Friday 11, that's actually right here. So the selling wasn't as strong as we expected it to be. And on the 1 minute chart, you can clearly tell, because we were selling in that pink algorithm here instead of the teal, which was a much stronger selling algorithm. Right. So this are very important information that you need to understand. Now, right now, you see that there are so many algorithmic lines here, right? So just pay attention to what I'm highlighting, because these are what you have to see at that point in time. Now, there are two instances on Friday that I would have shorted. Let's see. Right here. Not here, I wouldn't have shorted this here. And I'll explain why. This was the only time I would have shorted. And I'll explain why. Now, you see that throughout the entire day, Magenta has been building liquidity, but not reliably. Why do I mean by not reliably? Because you notice that it's not breaking out of that pink level, right? We have been bouncing off the pink. And this was why I talked about my very, it's a topical comment about Nadal and his defense. Where is it? Yeah, somewhere out there, right? I talked about Nadal and his defense. Right here, right? So there is a very strong defense here. And this was why I talked about this particular structure here. Now, at 1040 here, I talked about this particular structure. You have to wait for the pink algorithm here to turn into some sort of resistance. That will be your best shot. Here, like this. So at 1012, right? This was at 1012 here. You have to understand that 1012. Yeah, this was 1012. I already talked about how you see pink and you have to trust it. You have to trust what you have charted and what you see on the charts, because you see that the pink has been defending the range. You don't see the stronger algorithm. The stronger selling algorithm will be this teal. So it's so difficult if you have a bias that this is going down. You will have such great difficulty to try to take a trade here. So at this point here, you have to understand, if you already have the pink algorithm, which we've already charted right there, you have to know that this will defend. So if you're shorting this, right? So say I have Magenta here, right? And I manage to catch a small trade here, right? I will have to protect my trade when it touches the pink, which was penny perfect. Just take a look. It's penny perfect. You have to protect the trade. Now, if you're trading 0-day to expiry options, this candle becomes a large red candle before it even touches the pink algorithm, and you already closed your trade. You will profit from the slippage. Someone will have a bad fill, but you will take that slippage and you will take the profits from that bad fill. You understand what I mean? And this only comes if you're able to anticipate where to take your profits. Usually, if you're a newer trader, you are hesitant to take profits. Hesitant. You don't want to take profits because you think this is going to go even larger. And you ignore this pink algorithm. And this comes with training, because if you're trading with the algorithms on the first time in your life, you will not have that instinct to take profits before it retests a certain algorithmic level to the penny. And since you're watching the 1 minute chart, your reaction time will be tuned to the 1 minute candle. And so this is why, with a minute candle, if it turns red in your favor, as much as you can, you take profits to protect your trade, because this is within your reaction time. 1 minute candle, this is what your eyes can see. It's the same as frame rates. If it comes to a certain point, your eyes just cannot differentiate higher definition, for example. It's the same with the charts. If you're using 1 minute candles, you have to protect the trade within that 1 minute. Understand that logic. So there is a certain logic there like that. Yep. Okay. Now, as I was saying, if you have protected that trade here, you would be fine. And what I really wanted to look for is to see if the stronger selling algorithm, which mind you, we have already seen it coming here, here, and here. So this teal seller, this institutional seller exists. He or she or it or whatever, this algorithmic institutional seller exists. This teal exists. If it wants to break out to a stronger tapering pink algorithm, it has to break out and retrace. Understand that logic. Now, when you understand that, this becomes very easy for you to not have a bias. And why you understand, I'm talking about waiting for the pink to turn into some sort of resistance with the stronger selling algorithm guiding the way. In this case, either teal or blue. Now, when you understand that logic, you would be patient to wait. And in this case, the only time this happened was here. Right, once we broke out, once again, magenta was building liquidity here. So this was still a beautiful magenta. In fact, I would think this is one of the more beautiful head and shoulder pattern here, because, well, firstly, we had a large engulfing, right? We had a strong rejection of this range. So this was a beautiful head. And we had a very nice shoulder liquidity of a major yellow 653 level of that magenta algorithm, right? So this actually was a really good head and shoulder pattern here. And you see the strongest, let me zoom it in a little bit more, and you can see the strongest selling algorithm started appearing. So this is worth the trade. Now, if you managed to take it early because you saw how orange, and just take a look, right? Penny perfect. We've already identified the orange early. So you saw orange reject. You took the orange breakout. You still could have enjoyed a beautiful trade here in that blue algorithm. You see that happening here, right? Absolutely beautiful. Now, people forget the pink exists. And this in fact, is not a bad trade to take if you wanted to short this. Right? We've rejected. Just take a look. Penny perfect off that pink. So this seller here was trying its best. Teal started tapering a little bit more. Now, if this continued to head down, this would be excellent. Right? This would be a beautiful trade. Now the selling algorithm would have triumphed over this. It would have triggered stops, and we would have a large move down. But otherwise, if you have taken this trade off that pink algorithm, now, even if you're wrong, even if you chose the wrong direction, you would have firstly got a beautiful fill because you had the pink algorithm. So you have taken puts right at the resistance. And that means that your stops are really tight here on this dashed line. Secondly, you would have already protected it on that single 1 minute candle here. Now, this candle here, believe it or not, is a half a point candle. Now, more than enough for you to protect your trade. Half a point candle, more than enough protected trade. Yeah. And since the pink is a level that's trending down, your stops will never be threatened until the structure fails. And in this case, by this candle, you would have already been stopped out, probably for a small loss, or even with profits because you protected your trade. So understand this. Understand the structure. You know your risks, very tight risk. And if it worked out, you would have very good risk to rewards because you understood which were the selling algorithms that would guide this down, either the teal or the blue off the pink. Now, this is called a trade setup. You are preparing a trade setup. If it happens, that's great. You're ready and you know your risks, you know your rewards, and you can plan your trade accordingly. You can even determine how much money you want to lose on this trade, which will be pennies, because you have a stop loss target that you know will fail the structure to the penny. Or you have the stronger selling algorithm that will help you, guide you through maintaining your runners to maximize your profits. As I will show you here with this orange, right? I will get to this. So on that premise, you understand now what to be looking out for if you want to short this with this pink, right? Now, you still can short this here because you see how penny perfect the pink algorithm is. Now, absolutely penny perfect. But there is a very key point here I want to bring out, and that is that the magenta started supporting this. So it was building more liquidity with the magenta, right? And this was when I talked about this particular structure. Now I want to show you this particular structure here. Let's see. This was the one that I talked about on Friday's video. This one at 1043. Right, just take a look at this 1043. Now 1043 was here. Once we had that failed breakout here, and I talked about this, right? I said that if we do not have stronger selling continuation, you have to look out for this, right? Let's see my comments here. I talked about there's this particular I mentioned about lack of selling continuation. You got to be careful. Yeah, we're getting close now. So I reminded you again at 1107 here. I reminded you again at 1107, right? Don't forget to go long here, right? Wait for this pink algorithm, and the yellow 653. We're getting close now because there is no selling continuation commencing out of the pink support. So you understand that logic, lack of selling continuation. In this case, although pink was a selling algorithm, it's not the main seller. This will not make you money if you're buying puts. Let's talk about this particular structure that I talked about first. Now let's take a look first and see for yourself. Just see for yourself. Now this was at 1043. 1043. Now you see it's not so fluid. It's a little laggy for me. That's why it's not that fluid for me. But that's fine. Let's see. Right, the pink algorithm here. 1043 was here, right? So this is 1043, and I mentioned, you see, I talked about a bounce here, building liquidity chop, grabbing the liquidity here on the way up. Penny perfect. There was this magenta here, and this was crucial, right? Because you understand that magenta was still in control. Now, there was a lack of liquidity here. Lack of liquidity. The bearish liquidity is here. So if the bears want to grab this, once again, break out of that pink, this will be more ideal for me. So I charted this blue algorithm here, wanting to see if it breaks out of that pink on the way down. Nothing has changed, right? In fact, we lacked that bearish liquidity that's building here. And we saw this bullish liquidity that was starting to build here, which coincided in a very key level at 653 of that yellow algorithm here. So you see how the magenta has turned into a strong support. So once again, if you're a newer trader, you will struggle. You will struggle because you are always anticipating the breakout. You would take puts when we are about to break the magenta. Why? Because this is suicidal. You're taking puts at the support level. You're just going to ram yourself against a brick wall. You understand that analogy, right? So what you want to be waiting for will be a breakout and a retracement. Breakout and retrace off that magenta algorithm, isn't it? Wait for that. Why don't you wait for that instead of buying puts at a support? Because when you do that, a breakout and retrace, your puts has a stop loss that can be penny perfect off that magenta, or in this case, if it goes down in that blue, your stops can be based off that blue. So you're taking puts with a resistance in mind, not taking puts at a support. Now, understand this helps you a lot. Some of you talk about, I'm sorry, I'm not really looking at the chat, as I mentioned at the start of the stream. So give me time. I will learn to multitask. But if I do glance at it, then fine, I will take a read. Okay, right. So once again, you are going to take imperfect trades, yeah? That's part and parcel of being a trader. What you want to be doing is to minimize your loss as much as you can by having penny perfect algorithms. When you have penny perfect algorithms, you can have almost penny perfect stops, and you know when to stop a trade. So there are two things as a newer trader you need to understand. Firstly is do not participate in liquidity building. And I always mention this. If you do not see a precision algorithm in play, don't participate, because that means that you are part of the liquidity building before it starts determining a direction. So understanding that first. And secondly, don't take puts at support. Don't take calls at resistances. All right. Now, when these large candles appear, this is when you have to be more careful, right? Because large candles, if you're a newer trader, you tend to chase it, or you tend to call the reversal when you see a large candle. But you need to tune your mind, because when you see large candles, the first thing that comes to your mind will be there's action coming soon, because it's a sign of strong volume. Now we're talking about volume, right? The beauty of a 1 minute chart is that apart from looking at the volume profile, right, which may take some getting used to, because there are so many false negatives in a 1 minute chart volume candle. It is also partly a lagging indicator, because the volume candle would have already formed after the fact. So you need to learn to look at candles. Now, for an extremely liquid ETF like SPY, when you have large candles, it is a sure sign of volume, because you cannot have a transaction over a large range of price with small volume. You understand the logic behind that. And this is why when you trade the 1 minute chart, some of you trade the 5, and that's great. Back then when we had less chop, the 5 minute was ideal. The starting days before 0 day to expiry, 5 minutes was ideal. Currently, I feel that 1 minute is much better, because you have a better sense of the volume transaction. You can understand the momentum of the candles by looking at the 1 minute chart better, and you can identify the algorithms much clearly with the 1 minute candles. Your challenge will be to learn to look at segments and look at the algorithms, or in this case, the algorithms have defined a certain channel for you in the charts, instead of looking at individual candles and starting to trade. So this is one one key area that I always tell you when you're a trader, that you need to be profiting from the precision algorithms, not from the individual candles. And so understand this, it's very important. Okay, now, so when you see large candles appearing, you know volume is approaching, right? And you just have to be very careful. A lot of newer traders will start chasing this red candle. They will start shorting this heavily once the red candle surfaces, but not you. Why? Because this red candle retested the support of the magenta. So if it's you, sorry, I got distracted a little bit. Now, if it's you, if this is you, you would have waited for the breakout of that blue algorithm, retrace it back that magenta before you started shorting this even further. You understand that? Or in this case, there may be a teal that started forming here, and you have that red candle bounce back up magenta, but the teal brought it back out into that teal like that. Then yes, I would have shorted it like that. So red candles, nice. Volume is coming in. You see the momentum of the trade, but you have to prepare. Now, if this bounced off the magenta, right? Mentally, you have a teal that's ready there. You already visualized it. You don't have to chart everything. You can mentally visualize the existing algorithms of the day. And you see it break out of that, retesting that 653. Now, this is when I know the upward momentum is strong. It's probably going to break out. So I'll find an opportune moment to start taking calls here. Right, in this case, there's this particular candle here that I would have taken calls. Right, this particular wick here, I would have taken calls here. Or you see the green candle started forming and the orange, and you have started chasing calls here. Why not? Right, off that bounce of that pink. Now, if I take calls here, where will my stop loss be? Now, your stop loss will have to be based on a precision algorithm, in this case green or that orange. Remember, large volume, your volume will start to come in. Now, when these volumes come in, it's time you pay attention to the volume profile. And you notice there isn't a big drop in volume. Now, in volume profile, I would prefer to look at the 5-minute candle volume profile if you can. So you have to open up another 5-minute chart just to look at the volume if you want to. That's optional if you have additional screens. You understand that, right? Now, if you didn't get in here, that's absolutely all right too, because there are plenty of opportunities to start going in. As you get better, as you get more advanced, you can chart the precision. And let me tell you, there are a million ways to trade this. Let me zoom it in. Right, more real estate is good for us. If, say, I already charted this orange, and you see how beautiful the orange is, right? It's almost penny perfect. And this orange is not something that's unfamiliar to you. We've already identified it early in the day. Perfect. It's the exact same orange, right? So once you've already identified the orange, now you can, if you wanted to chase this, you can absolutely chase this if you want to. Especially if you're trading futures, it's not a bad thing. Can you take a call here once it retests the support? And if it doesn't and break out of it, you cut your losses. Penny, your stop loss is to a penny. If you truly want to, you can do this. Or even if you wanted to take here, you don't always have a perfect retest of the algorithms, right? But if you took it here, you're still literally to the penny. Your stop loss. Understand that? Yeah. And your rewards, just take a look. Now, this is way more than 1:2, 1:3 risk to rewards. But some of you fear to enter because you don't look at a trade based on your risk to rewards, right? You're basing your trade based on being right or wrong. So you're afraid of being wrong, but you're not mathematical about your trade. to counter that, you need to have metrics. So you need to develop metrics. You need to have data into your trades. So every day, if you take trades, you will have data to build a metric, and that metric defines who you are. It's as good as someone that's close to you who knows everything about you, telling you what kind of person you are, and you trust that person, and that becomes your identity. So capturing data and developing metrics of your trade means you mathematicalize your trade, if there's such a word, right? You quantify, that's the word, that's the actual word. You quantify your trades to numbers. Now, in order to collect meaningful and reliable data, you need to take a consistent and average number of trades a day. You cannot be having too deviant a sample size. And this is why I always tell you 1 to 3 trades a day. When you do that, you create some consistency. And when you take trades based on a fixed stackable system, you are truly developing that metrics and data to understand what kind of trader you are. And when you have that, you will be confident to take trades like that based on just that precision algorithm. You understand the logic behind that, right? It's about knowing who you are as a trader, and that can be quantified. Can you quantify that? Absolutely. Right. So do that if you can. Right. And that's also part of the ebook. It's one of the stages of the ebook. It's about creating that standardized system for yourself, so you can collect meaningful data and metrics to define your trades. Now, if you caught the trade, some of you do, some of you don't, but if you do, you need to learn to hold runners. Now, once you protected your trade here, you are completely in the green. You can leave your runners, and your runners are never threatened, especially for trading futures. Your runners are never threatened to be stopped. So why don't you just keep them running as long as they are within the orange algorithm in this case? Now, if you're trading 0 day to expiry, I did warn you here, right? I did warn you about buying something that's way out of the money. Here, right at 11:40, I reminded you 11:40 is here. Why are you cutting it? Right, don't cut it yet. And if it's way out of the money, yes, you have to take profits, because the implied volatility will crush your price of the options, right? So you have to also understand, if you're trading options, you need to understand how to be taking advantage of in the money and out of the money options. Now, out of the money options are fantastic when you have a very clear target and when you have a very clear precision algorithm to guide you to your target. In this case, we have the 5-day moving average. I talked about this as a target, right? I talked about this at 10:35. I mentioned if you can nurture it to 5 days as much as you can. 35 was here, right? And that was, 5 points later, right? So if you understand, you have a clear target, you have a clear precision, you take the trade as far as you can. Now, if you're way out of the money, say your strike is at 662, you're way out of the money, right? This is when you need to learn to be more realistic with taking the strike. Some of you take a trade because it's cheap instead of understanding the strike price or understanding the delta. You have to learn this, and I will perhaps teach you that, but there are free resources on YouTube, understanding the Greeks of options. Now, these are things you have to study. Aside from what I do here, there are things that you don't need my input. If you want my input, sure, maybe another time, but you know that's not my priority, or the basics. I think I can serve you better with this, right? So let's do that instead. So understand this. And you have to learn to nurture, right? When you know there is a certain precision here. You need to learn to nurture it, because it's so clear here. Now, the only problem is when you start to get stopped, right? Stopped here. This is where another technique comes in. Now, as you would know, I would have protected my trade here, take half as profits, for example. And by then, if you're very profitable here, this is something new, all right? So listen up. There are actually two levels of stops you can create a certain structure to, right? The first is obviously the first and the most obvious will be your precision algorithm. And the second one is actually a flat or horizontal level. So you notice why in my charts I have horizontal levels and algorithmic levels. Now, when you understand this logic, you will have half your position stop at a certain level here, right? And you have another half position at a horizontal level. Now, this is when you diverse your risk, right? You split your risk into two. So you don't always lose a trade. It differs, once again. Develop trading metrics for yourself so you will know which is your edge, right? For me, I realize that if I take full profits, I make more money. And that's because of the number of contracts that I take and of the counter slippage that I make from anticipating the large candles. If you understand that, congratulations, you are pretty advanced. And I explained that earlier about the counter slippage. So that's my metric, right? And I realize that my metric is I make, on average, a good day for me. As much as you see my 100%, 200% days, but on average, if I average it out, it's about 35 to 40%. It's a very comfortable day for me. And if I hit that target, it's time I scale down. So it differs. You, me, someone else, it's absolutely different, right? So everyone's different. You need to truly know what are you? What are you good at? Your edge, because your risk tolerance and mine's different, right? Your fingers, your speed of reacting to your fingers, right? Clicking the buttons, it's slightly different. Your actions per minute is different from mine. So you got to know what works for you. But the general idea and general consensus is simple. It's nothing wrong with taking profits. Just take your money, right? The only problem is if taking money causes you to revenge trade or to chase or to overtrade thereafter, then you have to fix that problem. So it's not about taking profits that's the problem, right? So you understand the association of the mental issues that we are all facing. So that aside, I digress. Let's talk about this a little bit more. So you see there are two levels here you can take your profits. The first will be a horizontal line and the second will be this. Now when you can understand this, you notice that this was resistance and will probably turn into a strong support, because you see the candles here, there's resistances here and a large green candle popped out of there. So mentally, immediately you can identify this as a very clear level. This should turn into a strong support, right? When you understand this on the live trading floor, you can be more careful in taking your trades, because you notice we have not even tested there. And apart from the orange, right, the green started taking over. We got an even stronger buying algorithm that started grabbing the liquidity from this and started pushing even further to the 5-day moving average here. Important lesson about grabbing liquidity and nurturing your runners. Okay, so understand this, know what you're looking out for, and basically you have to practice, because while I see the algorithms in place, while I see pennies in my risk profile, you may see something different. And you have to practice this. You certainly have to, because there is no. Now, if there's a trading technique that can be picked up easily, now I want you to just internalize that. If there's something that's easy that can be learned, millions of people will pick it up easily. And what will happen is that everyone will start to make money. And how is the money supposed to flow if everyone's a winner? I will talk about this in another channel, about whether the stock market is moral, is ethically right. But the quick answer is yes, because there is value creation. As much as people say that it's a zero-sum game, yes and no, because there's value creation in the stock market for fixed, scarce resources like Bitcoin or your cryptocurrency, where there's limited supply. Until there is a certain utility, it is not truly. I'm sure someone can argue with me, but that for another time. That it's not truly value creation as yet. I'm sure there are intangible values. But for example, if we take a look at Google or Amazon, they have created value and created so much technological advances in the world. And that's why there is an increase in its market cap over the years. And it's not because people are just pumping in money into the company that the company has inflated to this current size. You see the idea behind it. And there is a certain intricacy in the stock market because of that. So yes, there is value creation. It's not necessarily zero-sum. So, because of that, you have to understand. I lost my train of thoughts, man. Oh goodness, that comes with age, I guess. I'll check back with that. Okay, but you understand the logic behind that. Practice, right? It's different for everybody. But okay, I'm back. All right. So I want you to know that this is not easy. And if it's not easy, you need to study, you need to practice, you need to suffer. Suffering is good. Young people don't suffer enough. The old people think they suffer too much. So everyone has to suffer, even if you're old, you're young. It doesn't matter, right? Suffering is necessary for growth. But you need to know why you're suffering and where this suffering leads you to. So say you're learning this skill, trading, and you're making just thousands of dollars, something that you can make the same if you get a job, then this suffering is not worth it. You understand the logic behind that. And this is why I have to demonstrate with my trades that one small trade, if you have the skill to do that, you can make 5 figures. Does that work for you? No, not necessarily. But you understand that this suffering, if you intend to go through it, has a scale, right? So it has a scale. It has a larger impact that can change your life. Some of you want to change your life with a lottery ticket. So some of you literally just buy a call thinking it will get to 100x. You can't do that, right? If you're trading 0 day to expiry and you bought a strike here, when we are just breaking out, you bought a strike at 5-day moving average. I don't think you're being very smart to start with, right? You have to review why, because this is a lotto play, right? Yeah, you can get 10x from this, absolutely. But you're gambling. This is gambling, right? If you're taking, for example, something that's more realistic, like a high of day, 656, for example, that's great. And when you get there, right, and you see the orange in play, you close all your positions and you re-enter with another strike at 5-day moving average, which will already be cheaper. You would have already made profits. Then that is a beautiful trade. You understand the intentions behind, because some of you want to get rich every single day by buying a lottery ticket. Because there are days that happen. Yes, there are days that you can 10x your money, but you're not doing this by luck. So, is this suffering worth it? That's the next question you ask yourself. And if it is, then you have to set a roadmap. You have to set a plan to get there. The plan has to make sense to you to get there. Some of you want to do all these in 1 month. Maybe, but unlikely. Some of you want to do this in a year or 2. Fair enough. And plan it out. Don't quit your job on day 1. So you see, you have to plan something realistic. And that's what I want to do for you. I want to give you a realistic expectation. And understanding that $10,000 in profits in a 1-point trade is realistic too. You understand that. But that realism requires suffering and training and practice. And part of proving that to you is to do this every single day. You see it for yourself every single day, especially if you're in the Discord server. There's nothing to hide. Everything is there, right? I don't even delete any comments here. I don't. You know that. There's logs here. You can figure it out yourself, right? My trades have timestamps. Yeah, you get the point. And when you understand that realistic expectation, you know how to plan there. And I want to plan together with you to get there. A roadmap to figure out how to get there. Right? So some of you will have different paths. I can't be with you throughout. I don't want to be with you throughout. You're supposed to learn this skill and impart it to your families, whether the skill or the money you make from this run generation to the next. I can't be there. I would love to be there. I can't always be there. You will attend my funeral one day. One day you will. I can't always be there. You understand that. You know how you need to accelerate this. And you know that my impartation to you is not one that I want to create dependence in. But what I want to work together with you is something even more enduring. So while you're not dependent on me, you see the difference here. I don't want you to be dependent on me, but I want you to work with me. Then, yes, we're talking. We can be partners for life, right? Because we have so much projects that we can do together. But when you understand that, when you understand my philosophy, when you understand my intentions, when you understand my objective towards this, this is why there is a lifetime membership, right? I closed it, by the way. It's not available now, right? I don't know if I want to open it again. But you know, you understand that now because we can be partners for life. I don't mind that. But you cannot depend on me for life. You need to pick this up quickly and get to where you want to be. Right? Right, okay. Yeah, so this is a casual day, right? I will be having more structured programs in the live stream. So thank you for just listening to me rant. I'm not even interacting with the chat. Not yet. As I mentioned, I can't multitask yet. This is my first time. My sincere apologies. Thank you for your tolerance. Right. Yeah. So 2026, we're about 1 month before that. Don't rush to wrap up the year trying to achieve your goals if you have not. Right? If by November you have not achieved your goals, you have not achieved your goals. You have to accept that. That's a reality. Accept that. And come to terms with that. Forgive yourself. And plan ahead. Right? 2026, I want to do more. Because of my health, I have been, well, I can use the word crippled this year. But I want to do more. And part of doing more is also to pray more. Remember, well, as I mentioned, prayer is truly the bedrock of our success, of my success, in fact. So I want to do that, and this is why we have this live stream once again. I want to open up a new capability that I can assist you or support you in, and I look forward to that. I truly, truly do. So thank you. And remember, 2026, plan ahead, as I mentioned. Is this worth your suffering? There is a lot to do from here. I plan a roadmap. Realistically, some of you are just chasing one after another, the next shiny thing. This doesn't work. You move on to the next. You move on to the next, and you land yourself to this. You land yourself here with me. I truly hope I'm your last stop, because I am so fearful of what's out there, man. This world is crooked. It's crooked, man. This world, it's full of deceit. It's full of some people think I'm like that, and that's fine. I can change how you feel about things. But as I always mention to you, you don't try to know someone over a fancy dinner. You don't. You know someone truly when you live with that person every single day for your life, right? That's how you truly know about someone. So I invite you, come to my house, right? Come in, live with me, figuratively, of course. Don't think you can stand truly living with me. And yeah, not over a fancy dinner, but know me as a person. Know me as I want to help you. Let my service talk to you, not just my words. And remember, I don't want you to be dependent on what I'm doing, but yet I want to work with you on something enduring. There are many like-minded people out there. I'm very appreciative. I'm very, very honored that you're here with me. I came from somewhere where I feel a lot of loneliness. I came from a place where I'm abandoned, So to meet people that are like-minded, it's so precious. It's so precious, So yeah. Yep. Let's get it done. This is the first live stream. I intend to leave it only for 60 minutes. I apologize if I'm not responding to the chat. I'm not even reading them. I will read them later. I'm sure it will leave it there for me, right? Right? I think so. Let's do better. I want to do better. This is out of my comfort zone. I want to do more for you. Do more for yourself. Know that there's someone out there willing to do something uncomfortable for you. If you share your trades every day, I read them every day, Yeah. I review this every day. Every single day I read your trades. And the lifetime members know I'm working on a journaling program where I can have standardized trades that can generate AI results of your metrics and your analysis. I can have a snapshot of your trades for the day. Everyone can see it together. It's so much easier because I don't want to be the only one reading your trades. I want everyone to be reading your trades, right? So I'm creating platforms for that. And these are projects that I talk about that I want to do with you. Yep. I will have another meeting with the lifetime members. I may open up again for this lifetime membership. I don't know. Let me think about it. I don't want it to be too saturated. But I don't know. I have to pray about this. I need to consult you on this. There are a lot of things that I don't want to make deep commitments. So my only commitment is towards you. Okay, Monday is going to be fun, right? Please watch the video. There are two things that are going to happen now, right? The first thing is that you have to watch Sunday's video. I uploaded it yesterday. You can watch it. And the next thing that's going to happen is within the hour, I'm going to upload the week's secret training video in the Patreon server or the WAP server as well. And you can study for the entire week. So thank you for taking the time to study. Now, there's so much to study, right? I'm also trying to consolidate the time because your time is precious. I want to make everything in one session, like a live training like this. So one session, all you got to do is focus on getting it done. Saves my time, saves your time, saves everybody's time, something more crystallized, something more organized. Now, the biggest problem I have is that the Discord server is completely disorganized, right? And I think that should tell you everything about me. I'm not squeezing any profits from this, man. I could, right? People are telling me, you know that I have sponsorship emails every single week. Every week I will have one or two. Some willing to pay me 6 figures, right? I don't do any sponsorship. I have people asking me to do some sort of, I don't know what's the term for that. Email offers, I don't know. Something about funnels. I don't know what's that, you know. They want me to create funnels. What's that? They want me to create something, right? To link everything up. I don't know, right? They're willing to pay me money to get that done, and they take a cut of something. I don't know. That's just too complicated for me. I don't want that. I don't care. We have projects we need to work on together, right? There are big projects for us to do. I don't need this. But there are big projects we can do together, and it only can be done with the power of a community, right? If we want to, now let me just share a little bit more here, right? If I want to have a team, let's say we have 1,000 people who are accountable to each other about making decisions about opening orphanages in the world. I don't want 5 people to be making decisions. I want at any time there will be 1,000 people taking a poll to make a decision. It's a collective effort, right? There will be people that will have making decisions together, accountable together, and this is a massive community managing a fund, a foundation. I have not thought about the legalities of it. I have already visited some countries that are asking my tax accountant, telling me that there are very good tax benefits. There is a short list to open the foundation to work towards that, right? Education is another, trading and financial education. I want to create something like that where we can be part of that project. We own it. It's something that you can tell your children that you are part of. If you tell them that I belong to the board of this particular foundation, together with my mates, who we trade together and fight together on the trading floor every day, you know, that story. It's so exciting to tell your children about. And I was inspired by this because I sit on the board for a few of these foundations around the world. And I get a lot of respect from my children for that, you know. It's something that money can't buy. I can buy a beautiful sports car. They don't look at me the same way than saying I sit on the board of a certain foundation. You get the point. Do you understand that? When you understand that, then you know that's what I want from you, right? It's not money. You can make all the money in the world. It's not going to give you that same reward, right? The risk to rewards is, it's not comparable. So let's get there, yeah? I don't know. Can we get there together? There's so many stepping stones to get there. And if you're doing something good, you trust me, there will be strong opposition. For every good thing that you want to do, people will oppose you. There will be impediments, divine or otherwise. So that's why I mentioned about prayer. It's the bedrock, because we're doing so much more than trading here. So if you understand that, my dear brothers and sisters, if you understand that, then you will accelerate your learning for trading, because trading is only maybe 10 to 20% of what we should be doing here. And if you don't master this quickly, you cannot move ahead to even bigger things in your life. So some of you are trapped thinking that because trading is 100% of what you need to do to find success, you are trapped and you limit yourself. But when you know that something that's beyond just trading, it's beyond, it really is. Your life is going to be way more than that. I've experienced that, right? I got out of Wall Street. I experienced so much more in life. My story another time, right? So I joined venture capital. Right after that, my boss then started a VC, headhunted me out of there, and I traveled the world, and I learned a lot, right? So I did a lot of aggregation, I did a lot of funding, I did a lot of corporate structuring, I did a lot of corporate strategy as well. So that aside, and so what I'm trying to tell you is that if you limit yourself thinking that trading is everything you need to study, right? This is not the difficulty, right? If trading is the easiest part of this. So you have to overcome that by not limiting your mind. You break out of that breakthrough. You have to have that breakthrough. All right? Okay. Next, technology. I want to harness technology using AI, using platforms. I have a developer on hand. I've hired a developer. It's a close friend of mine who's a little out of a job, so I'm just helping him out. He's developing some MVPs for me to help me to give you more individualized training. You can't expect individual training. You just can't, right? Because how I wish I can teach one person to do it, but that's not impactful. Because I think I can do more. You should do more as well. You can also be my amplifier, and we can impact the world even more. So there are some tools that I'm developing that hopefully we can, like the journaling tool, right? As I mentioned, if we are able to aggregate all the data of your inputs of your trades, and it can summarize something out in a very organized manner with clear metrics. We can hold each other accountable with, firstly, standardized metrics, and secondly, a roadmap of how to improve. And thirdly, we can also have better visualization tools available. So these are things that we want to do, right? We want to move forward to. That's what I want to plan to do 2026. My health is so much better. I suffered for a year. I was pretty slow because I had an aneurysm last year around this time. Much better now. I was struggling. It was slow for me. It affected my blood pressure. It affected everything, right? So one component in your body breaks down, everything just follows. Much better now. I can sense the recovery. I can remember what's happening to the detail. So praise God, because I think it's a miracle to be alive. Yeah, and I think I have more to do. So thank you for watching. I don't know how to end this. Do I press a button? I think so. Thank you for once again, the privilege of having your company. I am very appreciative. Hopefully we have more interaction. I don't know how to interact more with you apart from the chat. Is that how they do it? I'm new to this, man. You have to teach me along the way, all right? Promise me you'll teach me along the way. I will listen. I will. I certainly will. And thank you for spending time with me on Sunday. All right, don't forget to enjoy your life, recharge, recalibrate, recenter yourself, as I always remind you. So we prepare ourselves to get ready for this week. Now, this week, promise me, take it easy, right? It's Thanksgiving. Market will be slow. There are times where the market takes advantage of low volume to get to where they are, right? We know that. But your mind, if it's set, you're prepared. Take it easy, and know that your battle is actually next year, not this year anymore, right? This year it's the icing on the cake now. This is the icing stage. So you realize why I'm taking less trades as well, right? Why make more money and pay more taxes? You've already reached your target. As I mentioned, if you have not reached your target in November, your battle is next year. When you have that wisdom to know how to prepare for your next battle, you will not always be catching up to defeat. You know what I mean. Many of us, we are just catching up every time. We are always in the negative. We're always in deficit. We're catching up. But all it takes is for you to cut your loss and prepare for the next battle. Now, when you can learn to do that, you will succeed in life, because you will experience victory finally in your life. You will experience victory, and I want you to do that. Some of us, I haven't experienced victory until a certain stage of my life, but once you tasted it, once you have the formula to achieve it, it will not stop coming. And a big part of that is having wisdom. So next time, right? We'll have a session next time. We'll have coffee together over casual chats. I'm sorry this is a little disorganized, all right? I promise you'll be more structured next time. Live streams for chatting, live streams for training, right? I promise you that, okay? Give me time. Thank you very much for your tolerance. Okay, I'll see you on Monday, right? I'll see you. How do I stop this? Do I press a button? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Love you guys, all right? Okay, goodbye. Is it stopped? No, all right. Give me a minute. Yeah. All right. Okay, goodbye. Thank you.